SWBA students will be able to make rotations on a graph. Okay, we're gonna look at rotations today. Okay, we're gonna look at rotations today.
No. You know what? Sometimes when I'm not wearing my uniform.
Alright. So for these rotations, okay, we're gonna flip to our third page, or really fifth page, I guess. Okay, on this. So rotations, a turn is a turn around a fixed point called the center of rotation. Okay, so you have a fixed point, and you turn it around that. Okay, the figure rotates at a specific angle and direction. It rotates at a specific angle and direction. Yes. Yeah, that's not okay. So we have a 90-degree rotation, and we're going to only rotate counterclockwise around the origin here. Okay, so we're only going to rotate counterclockwise around the origin. That was going to learn like a ton of different things. We're going to learn counterclockwise rotations. Yes.
At the beginning, you said a turn is a turn. Yep, I saw that. Around a fixed point.
Oh. A rotation is a turn.
Thank you.
So, for a 90-degree rotation, we start here and we turn 90 degrees to the left, okay? Okay, to counterclockwise. So for this, your x comma y will yield negative y comma x, okay? So your x comma y yields negative y comma x. We're going to talk about different ways we can think about this later, okay? But it ends up yielding negative y comma x, okay? I think we'll see it later, okay? Just for now, we're just going to kind of write down the information, and then we're going to kind of explain it more. And so for 180-degree rotation, we end up in the opposite quadrant, diagonal it, okay? Our x comma y ends up yielding negative x comma negative y.
Is there a squad in the basement?
For 270 degrees, it actually would be the same as 90 in the other direction, but 270 degrees this way. Not quite the full way, because what would be the full way, guys?
360.
X comma y will yield y comma negative x.
Oh.
Wait.
Tilson told me that I can only be the way for
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3:45 to 5.
I just show up at.
And there's time, like sometimes like where I have like an IEP or like parent teacher conferences on Wednesday, for example, so like time has to be shortened, but that'll be put in the
Is there
announcements.
anybody else in there today?
Not that I know of.
Why?
And we're not allowed to be in there?
Correct.
That's so weird.
Well, there has to be somebody supervising it.
Why don't you go get buff today?
Yeah.
I've been going for a
Because
while.
I have a prior commitment on Mondays, so I do a Bible study at my coach's house at 5 p.m. And so I have to drive there, and so I can't stay and work out.
I just show up
and
at
like supervise later today.
I show up at 3:30. Start working out. And then you show up at 3:45. That's awesome.
I mean, a lot, like usually, yeah, coaches are there for until about 3:45. I'll be there.
Uh-huh. What is this? Already?
You want to know?
No.
You don't
What
want
are we
to
doing?
just like the entire like steak or gel or whatever.
I don't like this. I don't like it.
Then let me know, okay?
I don't like this.
Okay, it's a foldable.
Nope, Justin's not doing it.
Okay. Okay.
It was a bad idea. Don't give me.
I actually don't have blue.
How do you do
But
this?
Tape. But we're gonna use tape.
okay.
Am I supposed to like this?
No.
This is awkward. I can't find my other pair of scissors. So we're gonna do this with one pair of scissors for the class. Woo! Okay. So, guys, this will end up looking like this. What you do is you start and you fold it hot dog way, okay? You fold it hot dog, right? You have hamburger and hot dog folds. You fold it hot dog, okay? You fold it baseball on this line, so you fold a hot dog in half, okay? Hot dog in half, okay? And you want this part to be on the outside. You want this part to be on the outside, okay? Hot dog where this is on the outside, okay? So the part where it says rotations, in big bold letters, is on the outside. So fold it hot dog style, please. Okay? Okay? So then what you need to do, okay, is next you would end up cutting these dashed lines, okay? Do not cut them all the way up, only cut them to where the dash is, okay? But scissors are getting passed around right now. Amber, would you be willing to let people borrow your scissors as well? Okay, sure, dope, okay? Oh, nice, okay, yeah, I currently don't have any glue sticks, okay? So I'll have some guys on today. What?
I can ransack this Rodriguez's room for you.
Or you could
Does she have glue sticks?
or you could go in there and go ask her.
Yeah, do you want to ask her for glue sticks?
Ransack, ask, same thing.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
totally not. Okay.
I came in here
Can I
ransack
go
the
with you
box.
and get
You
scissors
did.
too?
Yeah, what?
Can I go with you and get scissors too?
I could just
No.
snag scissors and blood.
Just do it.
With 2 hands. You really think Justin?
Fine, go ahead.
What? You just want to leave class.
No, I don't. I just love this Rodriguez. Go this way.
She's on
And these jewel pods?
Amber, are you drooling?
Amber!
See, I put them all in this thing. We have the same thing.
I know.
Yo, Amber, why are you drooling? Well, let me have a hit.
I actually don't know how to do it.
Only if it's blue raspberry.
Hey, in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and fill this out, though. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and fill this out, okay?
Is this
So-
something like-
So yeah, you cut just the dash part, okay? So once after you cut that, you're done cutting, okay? So then, it's true, okay? So yes, okay.
Probably not.
So after you cut or before you cut, you can fold this up to the line. Fold this up to the bottom of those 2 lines, okay? You don't fold it up all the way. You fold it up to the line as much as the dash line would let you, okay? That makes sense. So you fold this part here, you fold them to this dash line. Okay, you fold them to this first solid line underneath rotation, okay? So if you haven't folded that, go ahead and fold that now, okay? So I have each of these folding up, folding up, folding up, okay? Doesn't fold up all the way, but to that solid line, okay? Doesn't fold up all the way, but to that solid line, yes. Not today. Oh, maybe I'll not today.
Excuse you.
Does anyone still need the scissors?
Go for it. It's open. Yeah, well, that's the last person I
She's not even-
I don't think so. I think you're doing it.
Maybe she is not the biggest kid at times as well. Just a thought. Okay. Anyway, I couldn't imagine. Okay. Hey, so if we take this foldable, okay, you are what? Okay, that's okay. Alright, so if we look at the first one, 90 degrees, okay, we're gonna put our notation in there, what we yield, okay, X, Y, yields, and we're gonna put an example in here as well, okay? So, X, comma, Y yields for what for 90 degrees? What did our notes say? Negative Y, comma, X, okay? So I want you to put that in there now, please, in the first part, flipping, okay? So right up here where you guys see me holding, okay? It's their 90-degree one. Okay? Now, we're going to graph this triangle ABC with the vertices 2, 1, 3, 8, and 7, 2. I know my coordinates are very faint right now. a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation, okay? So we graph the triangle and we're gonna graph its image after a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation about the origin. So if we follow this pattern here, x and y gives us negative y comma x. We'll take, for our x value, each of our primes, we'll take the y value and make it negative. So this becomes -1, this becomes -8, and this becomes -2. So we took out the original y value, made it negative, and we're putting it as our x.
I just got shocked and left.
Yeah, they
Why
threw
do you
us.
guys only get 2?
Oh, she got more.
They wouldn't let us in.
They wouldn't
I
let
just
it
had
in.
to slide papers. Oh my god, I'm so
We had to
depressed.
ransack Miss Olsen's room, and her Spanish 3 class wouldn't let us in.
I already have a
Hey, anyone who needs glue sticks, there's glue sticks now. Thank you guys. Hey, so for the x's, or for the y value, you take the original x and you just put it in place. Okay? Questions on how we get the a prime, b prime, c prime? Questions on how we get the a prime, b prime, c prime? Okay? So then we can graph this. -1, comma 2. -8, comma 3. And -2, comma 7.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna throw a pair of scissors.
I mean, you can get mad at us for throwing pens. So
Yes.
That'd be hypocritical.
Yeah.
That was a lame joke.
I'm so proud of myself.
It could be a hungry hypocrite, okay? Yeah.
I was about to say, hang what now?
What did you do to figure that out, though? So hey, so here's what our rotation would look like, guys. So we take this and we make it 90 degrees counterclockwise. So we take this shape and we just rotate it 90 degrees, okay? So everything ends up kind of getting tilted. It's like you had this and somebody pushed it over, okay? It's like somebody pushed it over, okay? What it ends up looking like. Instead of B being at the top, it's now on the left. C being on the right, it's now at the top. A being on the bottom left, it's now on the bottom right. It's like somebody took it and they pushed it over, okay? So it's a 90-degree rotation, okay? A real-life example of this, guys, okay, were to be if I were to take the stool, okay, take the stool, and everybody look at my stool up here, okay, everybody look at my stool, and take the stool, okay, 90-degree rotation, and tip it over,
Rat, that was
okay,
bro. I know that.
okay, I tip it over, okay, that's a 90-degree rotation, okay, that's basically what this happened, just tipped it over, okay. Get it?
How are you
No,
not-
well, it did end up going that way, though, right? So it worked. So it's basically really the same thing. Okay, you want me to do it again?
Yes.
We had
So-
a lot more than that.
Alright. So, and how we get there is this negative y comma x. We take all the y's, make them negative, and put them in our x spot. We take the x's and just put them in our y spot. Now, another way that you can guys think about this, okay, is if we look at it this way. For A, we went 2 to the right, 2 up. We went 2 to the right, and then 2 up, okay? So, if we look over this way, you can even turn your paper to the side. Sometimes I do that, and I go, okay, that was supposed to be 2 right, 1 up. A is supposed to be here. Ooh, I messed up my original A, guys. Nobody even called me out on it.
Let's just screw up. Ask you.
That's true, you can't see my graph very well.
What did I do?
Last class?
You were already mad at me.
So, what you can do though is say, hey, I go 2 to the right, 1 up. So now if I look this way, I'm going to go 2, 1 up. So if I turn like myself to the side or turn the paper, and I know I'm going to be over here now because it's 90 degrees to the left, counterclockwise. Okay, 2 to the right, 1 up. Turn myself. Now if I go from it this way, it's like I'm looking at a 2 to the right, 1 up. Or if I look at C, I'm going 7 to the right, 2 up. So for C, I turn my head this way, turn my paper. Now I'm going 7 to the right, 2 up. Okay? So you can think of it that way. It is kind of weird, okay? That's something that helps me when I'm going through this as well, okay? It helps me remember things. It helps me to do this. So maybe that'll help you as well, okay? Let's go to 180 degrees. Okay, let's go to the 180 degrees. So what's our notation for this one? X comma y yields what? Negative x comma negative y. Okay, I think this one is of the three the easiest to remember personally. Okay, maybe it's not the case for you. Okay, but for me, I found this one is the easiest for me to remember. Okay, so we're going to start by graphing our triangle like we have been. Okay, so negative 5 comma negative 1 for x. Negative 7 comma 6 positive 6 for y. And so that's there we go. And then negative 1 comma 2 for z. Okay, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to rotate 180 degrees, okay? So we're going to take our x comma y and we're just going to make them negative, okay? So Jocelyn, what would x prime be?
5.
Yeah, 5 comma 1, okay? Amber, what would y prime be?
7 and 6.
Yeah, 7 negative 6, okay? And then Riley, what would z prime be?
1 negative 2.
Very good, okay? So now we'll plot those. And connect the points. And now we have our triangle that was rotated 180 degrees. So you took it around here and you rotated it not 90 but 180, okay? So we took it and we just rotated 180 degrees. So it ends up in the opposite corner from where we were, and everything's kind of just got spun around. So if it was like a point and you just kind of spun, that's what it would be, okay? You guys ready for the stool example?
No.
Okay, so it's
no.
gonna be less noisy, okay? Okay? Carly's prepping herself, okay? So 180 degrees, what's gonna happen to my stool, guys? Where's it gonna go?
All the way.
It's gonna end up going upside down, isn't it? Okay. So it ends up going like that. I told you that would be less noisy, okay? So it ends up going like that, okay? So you end up like flipping it all. And so even though this leg was originally over here on the bottom, it's now up here on the top. Okay, so it's on, now instead of being on your guys' right, it's on your guys' left. Okay. There we go. Got it. Nailed it. Okay. Questions on that one?
No.
Okay. That is a big opportunity to be botched. But I managed. Okay. So somehow I managed. Thanks, Scott. Okay. So now we're gonna do our 270 degree rotation, the only one we haven't. Okay. Once again, if you do 360 degree, what would happen?
Should be the same.
It'd be the same. You get back to where you started. Okay. So this one was what? X comma y yields
Y comma negative x.
y comma negative x. Very good, okay? So we're going to graph this triangle PQR. We're going to do negative 8 comma negative 5. Q is negative 6 comma 0. And R is negative 2 comma negative 1. Ooh, that was bad. Okay. Now we're going to go 270 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. So if we think about this before we do it even, right now it's kind of in the bottom left quadrant. Where do we think it's going to end up if we go 270 degrees around the origin? The one above it, the top left. It's going to end up here, okay? Let's see what's written down after this. Forget. Okay. So, oof, okay. P prime, what would P prime end up being, okay? Taylor, can you tell me what P prime would be? What? Taylor, can you tell me what P prime would end up being? Yeah, it would be negative 5 comma okay. Okay. Rowan, what would Q prime be? Yeah, 0, 6. Okay. And then what would R prime be, Evan? Yeah, negative 1 comma 2. Very good. Okay. And so we can kind of check our work a little bit with these points, to where if we start graphing them, and it doesn't end up in the quadrant we think it should, that might be a hint you did something wrong, okay? So it's good for us to just kind of think through that a little bit before we start just kind of graphing and going and say we're done, is to think, hey, where should this end up? Okay, and then say, okay, did it end up there? Okay, that's a good way to check. So we have this shape, and we just rotate it around. It's like we spun it around. Okay, so everything stayed fixed around this origin here. Okay, and we just rotated it around there. You guys ready for this tool example this time?
Sure.
Okay, okay. See you at 90 degrees. It's gonna be loud. Okay.
Lit.
That's what happened. Thank you. Okay. So everything ended up being on the other side of what it was originally. Okay. 90 degrees, but it ended up over here, kind of looking like, looking something like a sketch, like just a rough sketch, looking something like this. Okay. And now 180 ended up looking something like this. Okay. So for the 270, it looks like that final part there. Okay.
Mr. Russell, why is there a hole in one of the feet?
What?
There's a hole in one of the feet.
I don't know. So you can get through.
Okay, but still,
Okay.
it's a stool.
Questions on those guys, on those foldables? Okay, so this foldable, it's just something that you guys can keep, okay, to help you kind of, to work with these, okay? I think it's a good way, excuse me, to help you guys remember. It's a graphic organizer, it's a tool, okay? So, it's not something you use on a test, but it's something that you can use on your homework to help you out. Maybe, you know, you're bored in class one day, you're bored at home, and the best thing you want to do is just practice these, so you can quiz yourself on this too, right? I knew it. I'm like, I was thinking actually specifically of you two. I'm like, you know what? I know Maggie and Betsy are both gonna take out their headphones and just wanna like work on these over and over and over again. Okay, you like how I hit that one up in there? Yeah, go and take it out, please. Snuck it in, okay? Man, that was good. Okay.
Get away.
So we're gonna practice a couple of these. Okay, so I want you guys to actually try number one here. Okay, and you can use your foldable to help you. I want you guys to try number one here using your foldable. Please, thank you. Yeah, that was clever. That was good stuff. Okay. Just because you didn't like them, you was not clever. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't know. I don't control the speed at which lobsters die.
What?
I don't control the speed at which lobsters die. Not sure how much clearer I could be.
That had nothing to do with what I was talking about.
Okay. Can I say this?
Excuse you, did I say that one of those probably did actually? No, I did a different one. Okay, one of them I did.
Yeah, I heard Courtney say that in a sassy tone. You were saying that like, honestly, this thing. I'm the student where I always use way too much glue, so glue sticks are just a much safer option for me. I know myself well enough.
What is it we learned in like third grade or something in art, and it's like a dab goes a long way or something like that?
You walked
A
into
dab goes a
dab a
long-
day.
Oh yeah, a dot goes a lot. There you go.
Oh, that's a lot.
What dot?
Hey, you're welcome.
Oh, sorry.
Let me tell you a story.
Okay. Yeah, after you have it, I do want you to raise your hand, okay? Or if you have questions, I want you to raise that hand, okay?
Man,
What are you? You totally could have checked it.
You want to help me check?
It's comfort.
No, that's not.
That's your fault.
My paper.
Got my client, bro.
Oh. Yeah, you're good. Okay, that looks kind of nice.
Like
I
air.
just wrote it all.
So there's kind of candy in there.
Just be
It's
careful.
called
so
the
we don't-
Done.
so my dad says he's like, you did it. You guys don't like going wrong one day.
Maybe right. Drop the tape.
In this side,
Can you see how I see them as very similar?
no,
Okay. Smiling, so I know you. Yeah, I know you get it.
no,
Okay.
whatever. I'll write it where I want it.
Yeah, you think you get.
How do you just like drink? Why One day I'm gonna bring a thing of creamer and I'm gonna dump it in there.
I will actually.
And then I hate your coffee.
Have you ever had, have you ever taken
You know,
shots of those
Rowan,
little
I,
paper things that you
My girlfriend had like a light roast yesterday. I don't know what that means, but she tried to explain it. I didn't get it. But she's like, and it's like I had to put some creamer in it because it tasted terrible, and that made it even worse. It's like that she
Light roast is really sour.
sure. No, she did say the word sour. I remember that being said.
Dark roast tastes the best.
I should be a model when I grow up.
Okay.
I have that stretch.
Okay. Hey,
And
any
sass.
questions on number one? Okay, who can I get a volunteer to do number one up here? Okay. Let's have Taylor come over and do it. Hey, you want to bring your sheet up if you want? Okay.
Yeah,
Good,
exactly.
I'll let you pick whatever color you want to.
Oh my god, what?
Oh my gosh, so many options.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, where's that?
Okay. Hey, you want to put that away? Okay, thank you.
We need a phone box.
Maybe we should have everyone checking their phone.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. This does not have to be Rodriguez.
Yeah, I have trust issues, so that it's not weird.
Trust issues, not friendship. They say I have friends.
She actually said
Where's Rodriguez?
I told her that you guys was wrong for Halloween.
Exactly.
I missed it. Oh, yes, you did.
That's not nice.
Yeah. I still have a picture of it though. Oh, yeah.
That's not
That's in peace.
She didn't die.
Oh.
Wait, who didn't die? I was paying attention.
Good, Justin. You don't deserve to know who died.
Oof. That's fair.
Okay.
Oh, darn it.
Look what they done Italy did.
Okay.
That's possible. I feel like
All right. Okay, Taylor, you gonna explain it real quick? Explain it briefly.
that's the original. Then you gotta do negative y and then x. And that's
Very good. Okay. Now, some of us, it might be easier for us just to think of it like you see it and you can just see it and do it. I'm not that way, but maybe some of you are. Okay. Maybe some of you are just like very visually inclined, where you can just do this and be like, oh, boom, it's there, and you know. Okay, then you can go to the points. I'm not that way, so I have to use the x and y yields thing. Okay, like we just been doing. Or for like A, saying it goes 2 right, 7 up. So if I turn to the side here, I know it's going to end up here. I'm going to go 2 to this my new right if I face this direction, and 7 to my new up if I face that direction, okay? If I go 2 right, 7 up this way, I turn, I'm going to go 2 right, 7 up this way, even though it's really up and left, okay? I don't know if that made sense, okay? But maybe it did, one or two of you, okay? Hey, I want you guys to try number...
Four.
I know you could do it.
Two. Number 2. Number 2.
Wait.
And go ahead and do 3 as well.
Alright.
So do 2. If you finish it, raise your hand and then go to 3, okay?
Someone's at the door. Is that missiles? Was it me? No, wait, that wasn't.
Thank you, sir. Graydon New.
He's not here today.
Braden's never here on Mondays.
I'm not here on Mondays.
Yes.
This is,
He makes a bit of a habit of this.
interesting.
Can I not come on Monday?
Can I
Like
not
he's,
come on
I
Mondays?
have my first class with him. Like most of the time, like he's never here. So.
Huh,
I don't know.
interesting. 4-day week. Let's get on that plan.
Oh, that's kind of jealous of it.
Sounds like fun. Thank you anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
Have fun.
Is that me?
Gosh, Dilly Dinger.
Yes.
Gosh, Billy dang darn it.
Yes.
Mr. also just likes sometimes they're not cussing.
And then I
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't cuss at all.
Oh, wait, no.
Yes, please. You get to do 3.
Not me.
with 2, go on to 3. I think it's check, please. They need that. Very good. Okay. Sorry. Right, check. Good stuff. Just have, I understand. I feel it. On a spiritual level. Good stuff. That'd be in the game of Gucci.
What? Mr. Russell, you worry me sometimes.
That's good.
No, it's really not.
Put the fun in front of it. Or do you put the dip in front of it? Make it with it.
Oh.
Grab some I usually am. Thank you for acknowledging that. Are you trying that trick? It's tough, but it's cool. That helps me out.
Okay, well I did it. I did it.
Well, I almost ended up slapping Betsy in the face the other day.
That would've been funny.
The words sound so
I agree.
passive, but they mean so, but their tone sounds so aggressive.
Huh?
There should be a word for that, like, be nice. That stuff. Don't check. Stuff right here. You remember we know with 2, do number 3. And when you're done, check. Okay. Okay, pasta, ciabatta. What's up, my Mexican sausage? When I was in middle school, I was in a jazz band, okay, and we played that song.
You were a
What's
band.
up, my
I was.
Mexican sausage?
You were a bander, but you played.
At that time I played the trumpet. And then I switched to baritone
You didn't have your
my
hand
8th
up,
grade year. And I did baritone for a year and a half. And then I quit band.
So you didn't do band your last semester?
I didn't do band my second semester freshman year.
Mr. Coslight did it right.
Good job.
I'm not sure how I picked it.
Good stuff. Makes me excited. That's lit.
Well, just one of those days.
One of those days.
I fell inside. Mr. Fossil,
What's up?
you seem like a smart kind of dude. How do I play this game?
Well, first of all, you shouldn't be playing games in your graphic activity.
Like he's like telling me not to.
What the heck in the frick is that?
Mr. Coslight, can I do number 2 on the board?
I mean, I never used to do that. I'll do number 3.
Oh,
What?
No, I'll do number 4.
There's something where you can, like, get Who would do? These are the puzzle pack. Right? Buzz pack? Yeah. I mean, I never did that. You're talking, you're like, turn your back. You just go, like, you're talking about. Like, I'm like, you try to solve, like, oh, like, it's not. Get down.
Oh, I pushed the button.
It'd be irresponsible.
Yeah. It tells me I fell and died.
Wait, what? Was there a hole?
Oh, is that the black thing?
Oh yeah.
How long, where's the other
You get My favorite.
Yeah, I'm trying to save for.
But don't listen.
They are.
I know, I definitely know.
He actually said it's fine.
Steve.
Just stay for a while.
Justin.
I mean, true.
What you want, James?
What do I want?
What do you want my name? No, not because you said my name. Did I say your name? I think you did.
Happened?
You did it on purpose.
You did on purpose.
I don't even know your name. What? I don't even know your name.
about
You don't even know my name, Dave? Oof.
I'm stumped.
We're over.
Because it brought too much hair, it needs to shave.
No shave.
Well,
Did you want chicken? You're the boss.
No, I'm the boss. I'm the boss.
Peanut butter.
Your favorite was block dude?
No.
Why don't tell me now?
I can't.
Hey, so here's number 2, okay? So Riley came up and did this one, guys. We have our original shape, then we rotated 180 degrees, okay? So it's not like we just shifted it too, because all the points are in a different position as well, okay? Q is the top right, now it's the bottom left, okay? S is bottom left, now it's top right. So we make the X and the Y as negative. Any questions on number 2?
No.
Yeah. I'm gonna speed run through number 3 here though, since we did that one already, okay? So good. Okay. So 3, 4. Okay. 6, 4. Okay. 8, 1. And 1, 1. Okay. So we're gonna rotate it 270 degrees counterclockwise. Okay. So it should end up down here. Okay. So if we think about it that way. Okay. Think about it that way. It should end up down here. So our y values will have to end up being negative. Okay. So what ends up in our y will have to be negative. So it's y comma negative x. Okay. It's y comma negative x. So I'm gonna first put our y values in the x column. And then make the old x values negative.
Ew. We're doing symmetry next time?
Yes.
Yeah, so she's not bad.
Yee, brother.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm glad you asked that.
Okay. Questions on number 3 there. Okay, do you guys want to do any of 4 through 12?
No.
Okay, cool.
You asked if you want to do more math. Like, why would you expect us to say?
Oh,
Yes.
It could be a
in the moment,
class,
yes.
but yeah.
Thank you for asking. It might be like one of the calls that we run that. Weird. Okay. I don't know, I might give you a day.
The plan doesn't even do this.
Okay. You guys want to have one don't do?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't do number 12.
Number 12.
Are we gonna do them at all?
Are we not doing it yet, or are we just not doing
You
it?
can just scribble number 12 out. Sorry, do you want to do 12? Oh, okay. That, okay. Yes, you may listen to music, okay? But just don't let the music or your phone distract you, or your graphing calculator distract you.
Don't let your graphic calculator.
If I need to confiscate your graphic calculator, I will.
I kind of need it. Last time I went to algebra or whatever, and I forgot my graphic calculator in English, and I was really screwed.
And you could type graphic calculator.